Alright, finally got around to renting this 2018 Honda Africa Twin with the DCT automatic transmission. Just picked it up, adjusted the mirrors. Now it's time to hit the road. We'll see how this bad boy runs. This thing here is after you start the bike, it'll be in neutral, but to flip into the drive, you press this button, and then your throttle and the gear is engaged. In fact, I think first and second is engaged. Two gears are engaged at all times to make the DCT transfer a bit more seamless. So I got to be conscious of that, because at stop signs and red lights, when you want to blip your throttle, don't do that on a DCT machine. you might go forward when you don't want to. All right, to start this Africa Twin, kickstand up, turn the key. No clutch needed to start this thing. Basically, start it up. But here's the thing, on the left-hand side here where you normally have the clutch, owner tells me this is a parking brake. Also, the paddle shifters here, so if you want to override the automatic shifting, you could go down a gear with this thumb paddle, and then there's a finger paddle here for going up. This little blip here, I got to be careful not to do that in the street, especially when I do click it in gear. To click it in gear, there's a control here on the right side for drive, and you'll notice that just went into drive. Now the transmission's engaged, and yeah, don't blip it here. Other controls here, ABS. If you're in the dirt, you could turn it off here. G there is for gravel mode, which is basically dirt mode for the Africa Twin. And I think you could actually change the modes here. I'm not going to mess with that right now. ABS is on with traction control, but there is a control here that you could hold for like a couple seconds and then undo the traction control. Alright, enough talking. I'm going to go hit the road. Literally just got on this 10 seconds ago. Picked it up off a rider share. I'm gonna do some loops around the neighborhood here just to get used to it before I get out. It is really weird riding a big bike like this with automatic transmission. There is no clutch. Slow turn. The handling on this initially feels really balanced. When I got on this Africa Twin, he had the, I guess, stock seat at the lowest setting, and it was pretty high. It was about 35.5 inches, I think. So we put on the low seat, low setting. I will say this Africa Twin is a bit top heavy. Wow. I just flipped it to second automatically. Feels like a big moped. I could definitely feel the DCT kicking in, like downshifting automatically. Could feel a subtle click. But I do feel it clicking, and it's some smooth clicking between the gears. Just really weird coming to a stop without having to hold on to a clutch or something. Got to get used to that. But it is a very smooth machine. This is pretty cool. It definitely has the power. I am noticing that, at least with my body mechanics, I'm 5'10", about 180 pounds, 30-inch inseam. I feel the bike very flickable. It really feels like a dirt bike. And so far it feels capable and flickable in the twisties here. I just applied some brake in this turn and didn't feel too much nose diving. Oh yeah, you could definitely flick this thing. I just leaned that puppy all the way down. It felt natural. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Wasn't expecting that. I really haven't read too many reviews about the Africa Twin, especially with the DCT. I didn't want it to kind of ruin my first impressions, but so far I'm pretty impressed with its handling, even though when I first got on it I did feel it a bit top heavy. Now it doesn't have the low end grunt like the 1200 GSA, but it is still respectable. It's a pretty well made machine, looks great. Glad I rented it for the weekend. Watch out for the horse hockey. Yeah, it's got some giddy up. These paddle shifters seem like they're doing a decent job if you want to drop a gear to accelerate or even engine brake. Let me see if I can demonstrate here. I'm going to slow down, flip it down. 1, 4, 3, and then have the DCT take over. That's pretty cool. Looks like it might rain, but I think I'm gonna hit my favorite twisty road. It's doing a pretty good job leaning into these turns. I'm really enjoying how nimble this Africa Twin is in the twisties here. I wasn't expecting it to be carving it up the way it's doing right now. Man, this handles quite well. I thought it'd be, floppy because it's a bit top heavy, but it's really the opposite. It's really handling quite well. I mean, as I lean into these turns, I just realized for the last 10 minutes I didn't even think about my clutch. Everything's just being taken care of by this DCT, which I suppose is a luxury of sorts. Allows you to take your mind off of your clutch and ease into these turns and concentrate on having a good time. It feels like a dirt bike, but do you really want a 500 plus pound dirt bike? That's what's going through my mind right now. If I am on the trail and I drop this thing, yeah, you better hope you don't drop it too much, because carrying this thing is a bit of a load. Yeah, starting to drizzle a little here, but overall pretty impressed on the first day with this bike. I was more than impressed with its handling ability, and like I said, I think the 21-inch front tire and the 18 rear might have to do a lot to do with that. My first impression on the first day, I mean, this Africa Twin is striking. Looks great. I'd like to get more time with it to really find out its full capabilities. I think it didn't take me long to get used to this DCT, but it is still kind of, foreign to me when I'm on the street in traffic and at a stoplight. So, but that said, overall, I'm glad I rented this for the weekend, and more tests to come.